of Melanie doing the split screen later.
Do I have to keep my face on?
Yes, dear. Yes, you do.
I do?
Yes, you do.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Where's my speaker view? There we go. There we go. It's working now. All right. Pause, reset. Got my timer going. Great. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, cool. Amazing. All right, hello everybody. My name is Brittany Pavo, and I'm going to be talking to you today on how you might reduce your energy use. So, according to nowadays, we're staying at home more often than we're supposed to. So most of us have been spending time at home more than usual due to some quite obvious circumstances in this age. So the rest of this presentation is meant to inform you of the ways you can reduce your energy use and cost while you may be spending more time at home. I'm going to first start off with a quote, and I'll just read it off real quickly for you. It's from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and it says, most of the electricity in the U.S. is generated using fossil fuels such as coal and natural gas. A small but growing percentage is generated using renewable resources, such as solar and wind. So it's pretty self-explanatory in what you can grasp from this quote, and that our energy comes from things like the sun and the wind. So now I'm going to talk about the impact of energy. So all forms of electricity have an environmental impact on our air, our water, and our land, but it varies. So, of the total energy consumed in the United States, about 40% is used to generate electricity, making electricity one of the most important part of your environmental footprint. So now you might be wondering what your environmental footprint is, but here we go. So a carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases, which includes carbon dioxide and methane that's generated by our actions. So if you refer to the picture on the side, this is a really lovely graph. The only colors that we're pertaining to today are the blue and the pink, which are representative of China and United States respectively. And I only focus on these two because it shows, quite honestly, the most drastic change, in that China, sharing 19.9% of our population, uses 27.2% of our energy, whereas we, only 4.5% of the population, account for 15.6%. And you can compare it to the other colors on the screen that mean other countries, but this is the biggest impact that we've seen, and we can compare it to because we are number 2 in the amount of CO2 that we've produced by the burning of fossil fuels. So if you were wondering in how you might be able to figure out what your carbon footprint is, there are some online calculators that you might be able to use to measure on an individual scale. Some of these include the WWF, TerraPass, and the UN. Those are just acronyms. The first one and the last one are acronyms. And with these online calculators, you'll be asked to provide pieces of information, such as how you'll communicate to work, what your usual diet is, how much you drive or fly, the size of your household, or what type of electricity your area might provide you. And so it's all based in your region and regional differences across the country and nationwide. On this slide, you'll see some examples of what these renewable energy sources are and what they consist of. So first, as we said before, was solar and wind, and then you can see other examples that might be more common in your area, in your region, like water or hydropowers. Wind turbines are amazing. I love those. And so if we were to go through it, we can see the benefits of each, in that geothermal energy sources pertains to heat energy from the earth. And bioenergy would be biomass energy from abundant renewable resources that are available, like that of plants and wildlife. We can go on to nuclear, that accounts for 6% of the world's energy, or we can look at hydrogen and fuel cells, which produce power and heat with low to zero emissions. While none of these can be determined as better or worse than the other, we still see the benefits that they all provide. So all those sources I just told you about really can be defined by this term as clean energy, which quite simply includes renewable energy, energy efficiency, and efficiently combined heat and power source. So a while ago, we as a country saw a clean energy revolution across America, which was underscored almost by a steady expansion of the U.S. renewable energy sector. So if you see underneath this clean energy term, you can see the benefits that clean energy would provide, such as lowering your energy bills, reducing your greenhouse gas emissions or the pollution in the air, enhancing state or local job creations while developing the economy, and improving energy system security and reliability. And that energy is powerful, and we have seen that already. In this slide, you'll see ways that you can reduce your energy use by methods of transportation and how you might get from point A to point B. You may favor walking, cycling, or public transport. Trains especially, those are amazing to use to save energy. If you're driving, it would be preferable if you rode with others, under the acknowledgement that speeding uses more gas than it should, and you could avoid flying. So we see why all of these, if we were to use one more than the other, can impact our energy because of burning of fossil fuels. This one's super important. Shut down your devices. Ditch the screensaver. There's this common misconception that your laptop, if you shut it on and off one too many times, it'll go kerplooey on you. But in fact, that's wrong. So Energy Star, a program run by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, otherwise known as EPA, and the U.S. Department of Energy, they tell us that choosing to shut down your laptop, in fact, does not affect your computer and laptop lifespan, where it can be turned on and off over 40,000 times. This is kind of crazy to me. The second most important part is you should want to eliminate vampire power or vampire loads. What I mean by this is that vampire loads are energy that linger in the dark, almost like a vampire. It's power consumed when the electronics are turned off and use standby power, which can add up to almost $200 in your yearly costs. Of course, there are alternatives and how you might combat this phenomenon of vampire power. You can use advanced power strips, useful in home, office, and entertainment settings. You can cut power to specific outlets until those certain devices are used again, and you can see a list of examples on the PowerPoint. TVs, microwaves, scanners, printers, and carriers are all just simple examples of electronics and devices in our home that use idle electricity. Last and certainly not least, the right light. So now you might be questioning what the right light is. This is merely a guideline, as I've been mentioning before, but the first thing and most important thing, turn off your lights. 2, LED lights are the most efficient way to go, where energy efficient, it uses 75% less electricity than incandescent bulbs, which is just your everyday regular light bulb. And 3, open the curtains. If your lights are off, just use the natural sunlight. We got the sun, and you can warm your rooms and brighten your space. As simple as that. So thank you for coming to this presentation today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Lovely. These are things I ought to know. Thank you for including your references.